I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
I am here.
Mr. Zwicker?
Here.
Ms. Breyer?
Here.
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All present.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is a special presentation from Fire and Emergency Services. Chief Peterson.
Good evening, members of the council. Mark Peterson, Fire Chief, Emergency Services Administrator. It brings me great pleasure to come before you tonight to recognize our Employees of the Year. Every one of our employees work hard for the city, and everyone comes to work every day dedicated. But the folks I'm going to bring in front of you tonight were selected by their peers as ones who have gone up and above and really have done a really great job tonight. And so I'd like to start off with our Civilian Member of the Year, Kathy Michelson. Kathy, could you come forward, please? Kathy is the one who, when you see the numbers and our statistics, Kathy is the lady behind that. She goes through all our incident reports and she codes them and makes sure that what you see is accurate information. And she spends countless hours of doing that. Her attributes are her professionalism, her incredible work ethic. Kathy comes to work with a smile on her face every day, and there's nothing that can't be accomplished with Kathy. She looks at something, she may ponder it for a few minutes, but she'll go back to her workspace and really work on it. Kathy came to us via District 40 back in 2008, and she's been a real true asset for our department ever since then. And I'd like to congratulate her on Civilian Member of the Year. What we'll do is we'll get a picture with the council afterwards too. So we'll go ahead and get one nice one with the two of you real quick. An award we started last year was the EMT of the Year Award, and it's recognized for what we do. About 80% of our job is going out on EMS runs, day and night. We're out there helping people. But a part of that too is also training our other members of the organization. Can I have firefighter Dave Laha step forward, please? Dave was selected by his peers for his excellent work on EMS calls. He's a silent contributor who does extra work but doesn't look for the rewards. He's got a tenacious work ethic, dedicated and respected member of the department, and Dave currently serves on our dive rescue team, but he's also served on our rope rescue and our hazmat team, so he's very well rounded in what he does. But he takes great pride in his EMS skills and what he delivers. Dave came to us in April of 1998, and he's celebrating his 15th year of service to the city, and I'd like to congratulate Dave on EMT Member of the Year. Dave? So, Firefighter of the Year is an honor that's bestowed among a member this year. He's the senior member of the department. Firefighter Al Koskovich, could you come forward, please? Al is celebrating his 33rd year with the city. He and I hired on the same day together, and Al is a true firefighter that is looked up to from not only the firefighters, but also the officers and the chief officers of this organization. Al brings a wealth of experience. Not only did he hire on in 80, but before that he served in Tukwila. There's a lot of things I could say about Al. One of them is the guy knows what to do when we get there. Everyone else could be scratching their head and looking at the scene going, I don't know what we're going to do. And Al says, well, gee, it's obvious. Let's just do this. And right. We do it and it works. And so he was nominated for his admirable work ethic, his expertise and competency, His positive attitude, he maintains every day. And I mean, he keeps people well grounded with his attitude. He's highly competent in that the ladder truck that you guys purchased last year. This guy's an expert on it already. He knows every moving part of that vehicle, takes great pride in it, and he instills that pride in other members of the organization. His assignments include a ladder driver, hazmat team member, rope technician. He's excellent in hydraulics. In order to get water to the end of the hose, you have to understand pump theories and water and how water and hose, the friction in the hose reacts. Al can teach a pump class that no one else can even come close to. And he really understands the tools and equipments that we've given him. So he's described as his peers a firefighter's firefighter. And so I'd like to invite his company officers up to present him with his award of Firefighter of the Year.
Say a few words, Chief?
Yes, you may.
Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, the fire service has given way more than I've put into it. It's been my life for 32 years. I've been fortunate to be surrounded by many fine, quality people who, with their help, have allowed me to be relatively successful. What we do in the fire service is a team event. It takes contributions from every member of the team in order to make it work. The fire service is highly technical, it's manpower intensive, and it's time critical. So I try to come to work, strive to have a positive attitude and contribute, what I can to the best of my abilities. So therefore, I would like to accept this award, not as an individual, but as a member of a team that makes good things happen every day. Thank you very much.
And finally, we have our Officer of the Year. Our Officer of the Year is Lieutenant Steve Rawson. Could you step forward, please? Steve's celebrating his 22nd year of service. He hired on in October of 1991. I've had the opportunity to work with Steve throughout the years, and we have we go back a long ways with some good stories and have fun with each other. He likes mushrooms, I don't, but not that he exploits that. But anyway, Steve is our EMS lieutenant right now, so he's in charge of our EMS training, and he's actually done a really good job in that area. He's one of our key people in Heart Month and really cares for the community he serves. When Steve shows up to work, you're getting a genuine person who really cares for the community he serves and for each individual person that he's out there serving. His attributes include his professionalism, his commitment to high standards, and excellent leadership skills. He's a peer fitness trainer, so he's really, if any of you want a really good workout and you want to survive, don't go to Steve. He's the staff lieutenant. He was a battalion chief safety officer aide when we had those, and he's an instructor at when we had our own fire academy back in 2008 when we hired on 13 people. He was one of our instructors. He's got a reputation to be a great EMT. I can vouch for that. I've worked many calls with him, and he's worked both in logistics and training, and I'd like to congratulate Steve on being Officer of the Year. So if it pleases the council, I'd like to have my members of the year have a picture in front of the council and the mayor.
You bet.
Dave, Kathy, Emily are welcome to sign up here too with the cameras if you'd like.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh, very good.
Come on up. Any family members who want to take pictures, come on up.
Absolutely.
Kelly will direct you.
All right, big smiles right here for me. Great. Anybody else? Come on in. One, two, three. Thank you.
Oh, wait, we got one more. One more.
Got it?
Here we go.
All right, well, thank you very much, Council. This is just an example of the employees that you've hired that serve our city every day. These ladies and gentlemen go up and above the call of duty every day, whether they're in the administrative support function or whether they're out helping our folks in the streets. Very good quality people, and they serve you well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief, and congratulations to our honorees. We appreciate it. Okay, moving on to administrative report. Mr. Covington?
Mr. Mayor, I have no report tonight.
Okay. Next is audience comment, and we have several people signed up to address the council. When I call your name, please come to the podium and give your name and city of residence for the record. And you have 5 minutes. We have a timer next to the city clerk. Paul, I'm not going to even try your last name. I'm going to be in trouble if I do so. Come on up. Is it Uleto?
I was hoping they would stay.
Yeah.
I have a subject matter that might be important to them as residents.
We'll make sure to pass it on to them.
Okay, can you hear me okay? My name is Paul Ouellette, O-U-E-L-L-E-T-T-E. I'm a retired civil engineer and a resident of over 40 years in Renton and in Rolling Hills area, okay? If you don't mind, I actually wrote my comments down because I think it's very important to all of you council members. I'm here as part of the Rolling Hills Community Association, okay? The subject that I want to talk to you about is the smart meter installation on our water system, okay? Some of you council members may be aware of it, the details, I don't know to what extent, okay? I've done a little bit of research on the matter, enough to tell you that it is only since the installation of these smart meters on water lines that we have been impacted in our community, okay? The Renton Engineering Department, I've been in touch with them a couple of times, that these meters were installed in Rolling Hills between the middle of December and the middle of January. I drove around to some and found that they were installed in Rolling Hills North, but not Rolling Hills South. It's my understanding since then, I'll do that later. It is only since then that our bird activity in the neighborhood has decreased by 90%. Where I used to fill my feeders every 2 or 3 days, now they go for weeks at a time. I canvassed other neighbors that also have feeders and live adjacent to green belts and have the same report. Not only small birds, but also hummingbirds. Now, I applaud the city for wanting to preserve our water system and wanting to reduce the cost of meter reading. That's important. I do not know how much research the Utilities Department or Engineering Department did before this was recommended to the city. I do not know, even as you, mayor or council members, to what extent you are aware of their installations. However, you might want to look into this. For example, 52 communities in British Columbia have asked a moratorium be placed on the installations of smart meters pending further study. I'm curious to know, did the city receive grants from the government in Washington for these smart meter installations? I wonder what's going on. I did some research on the smart meters and found many articles on the potential of these systems. The Academy of Environmental Medicine released a report entitled Electromagnetic Frequency Effect on Human Health, which warns people with a number of medical conditions to avoid smart meters, and has also requested that the Public Utilities Commission in California impose an immediate and complete moratorium on the smart meter use. Another phenomenon reported of smart meter use was absence of pollinators in the yards. Residents report the absence of bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, and small insects since the meters were installed because of the radio frequency radiation contribution factor of the colony collapse disorder. Now, I understand that many articles have addressed the health issues, but right now I am not trying to address that because it's very controversial, okay? I want to point out to you that, like some old-timers used to do in the mines, they had birds to advise them when there was danger in the air. Well, I'm here to tell you that we have a problem, and the birds of rolling hills are telling us exactly that. I'm open to have an intelligent discussion with the Utilities Department and the committees, but I've been told that it cannot happen until you gentlemen put it on the agenda. And so my point here tonight is hopefully that you will consider what I'm saying and my neighbors are saying is that we do have a problem. The birds have disappeared. And it's not by accident because the timing was so perfect. It's right after the meters were installed in our neighborhood that this happened. I understand I even got a map from the engineering department as to where they were installed in the city. Most of them are in the commercial area. And in other areas that maybe people don't notice that the birds are not there. But it's so apparent in our neighborhood because we have about 120 or so residents in the neighborhood, and they were all installed within a period of 2 or 3 weeks, whatever. And it's not until we finally discovered that something was happening here. And it's not, I understand also that some people may say, well, it's because of the hawks, or it's because of the fog. But it's not. Really, I tell you, it's not. And I don't know if, I don't want to make a big problem in terms of contacting the Humane Society or the Audubon Society, but I would hope that the city themselves, you as council members, would take this concern seriously enough to let's look into it and find out what's going on. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you, and I'm fairly certain that the council will refer this to committee. Mr. Prince, for you?
Yes, it's going to be on the agenda for our next utilities meeting.
When's your next meeting for the committee?
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay. It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. Zwicker, that this topic be referred to the Utilities Committee. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Olet, we will notify you of the date and time of the meeting so you can attend.
Okay.
Monday, 25th at 4 p.m.
Oh, it's Monday the 25th at 4 p.m.
Monday the 25th at 4 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate your time on this, and I'm not trying to create a major problem for the city. I understand that you've got 4,000 of these things installed already, but you're going to get eventually 18,000. That's a lot of meters. The thing about it is that these things transmit 4 times a day, okay? It's not for a long time, but each meter is separate in terms of a transmittal of a signal at 900 megahertz, okay? It's a very high frequency that only small birds and animals are affected. I know even my squirrels have gone, so what do you do?
Okay, thank you very much. Next is Judy Tabak.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council, audience at home. We keep coming back again and again because we feel like this fluoride issue is so important, and especially for the littlest people in the community, the babies. I emailed all of you as a group, plus the mayor, to please go to the Fluoride Action Network and peruse through it and see what you see how important it is. All the information is there. I went to it again tonight to, highlight some of the points that they made. And it said that most developed nations, including the vast majority of Western Europe, do not fluoridate their water, including Amsterdam, Barcelona, Basel, Berlin, Copenhagen, Florence, Frankfurt, Geneva, Glasgow, Helsinki, London, Montreal, Oslo, Paris, Rome, Stockholm, Tokyo, Vancouver, BC, Venice, Zurich. Since 2010, over 70 communities in the United States have rejected the practice, including over 30 communities like Calgary, Alberta, with a population of 1.3 million people, and Albuquerque, New Mexico, which I mentioned last week, with a population of 500,000, that have voted to end the practice of fluoridating their water. I mentioned Wichita, Kansas last week, population of 385,000. I also mentioned Santa Fe last week. An article in the Chicago Tribune in 1993 cited 3 deaths were recorded because of kidney dialysis patients who were using the same dialysis center operated by the University of Chicago, and were caused by acute exposure to excess fluoride in the water used for the treatment of kidney dialysis. And that was a preliminary investigation has determined that. So knowing all this and put it together with all the other information that we've been bringing you week after week, you weren't the people that voted to put fluoride into the water, but you have the power to stop it. And I hope you will. And maybe there's action behind the scenes that we don't know about. Maybe you can refer it to committee. So we're waiting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Lee Lawless.
Hi. Me along with about a dozen property owners in the Shamrock annexation are having an easement dispute. Last Monday, the property owner on the corner blocked off a 50-year-old easement to the rest of the property owners on the road. After talking to the police and the fire marshal recommended to come before you guys and to recommend our next course of action.
Okay, so council and Jay can fill in anything that I'm missing here. The easement that he is talking about was something that was granted by King County some years ago and was annexed into the city. We've had the fire department and I believe Public Works take a look at this situation, and he's correct that the right-of-way was blocked off by one of the homeowners that believes it's his property. Fire department took a look at it. We have access via a different route, so it's not a direct public safety issue, and it's been concluded by staff that this is a civil issue, not something the city can deal with. And so, Jay, was there anything else you want to add?
Just a little bit of additional information. We're actually still looking into whether or not, in fact, it is a private easement that was developed between the property owners. We haven't yet seen documentation of that. We're quite sure it is not a public easement. There's no right-of-way there that's a public right-of-way. If it's an easement, it was either granted originally or may now be an implied easement just because of the use that's been carried on there over the past number of years. So we're trying to work with at least one of the property owners there, who we believe is the one who put up the blocks originally blocking the road, to try to confirm that. And we'll try to let all the residents know once we find that out. But as far as we can tell, as the mayor indicated, it's not a road that the city intends to use, nor do we have intention at this time to create a public right-of-way out of that road. It's a private drive that, at least our understanding to date, is that it's for use by those residents that live there only, and based on either approval that they received through a private easement or through the fact that they've been using it, and now because of that they now have a right to its use.
So if we learn any additional information, we'll certainly share that with you. And as Jay said, we'll be in touch with the homeowners of anything that we were able to learn.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor, if the council would entertain, I'd go ahead and make a referral to the administration on this, the Shamrock easement, just to get some more information. If the decision is that it's just a civil matter, then that super. If it is something that potentially we need to refer or look into further. So with that, I'd like to refer this matter to the administration and open referral.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Prince, that this item be referred to the administration. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And then if I may, Mr. Mayor, I'd also encourage the gentleman, have you spoken with a lawyer at all yet?
I haven't.
Okay. My advice would, I mean, I can't give legal advice, but I would suggest that that you wouldn't delay too long. Like, don't necessarily wait for the city to resolve it, because my understanding about issues like this is you know, if the use has been established over time,
Yes.
you know, then there's time frames. I mean, you'd want to keep that use established, and the longer you let it sit, you might lose your legal advantage. And I'm only telling you this not to tell you how to resolve your case, but I just wouldn't want you waiting for the city to take action and let some time frame expire. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next is Audrey Adams.
Good evening. My name is Audrey Adams. I'm a Renton resident. It was really special tonight seeing the awards of the fire department. I'm rather emotional tonight because we've had multiple uses of the 911 system for my brother in Marysville. So nobody is more appreciative of the folks that you are recognizing today than I am. Anyway, I would, obviously I'm here back for the fluoride issue, and I want to remind you that I have an outstanding request asking you to please test the sodium fluoride that you're adding to the water. An independent testing before dilution. There are a number of things that I've been looking at since I was last here. And one of them is the quality of your aquifer, our aquifer, City of Renton residents' aquifer, and how proud we are of our aquifer and how clean it is. And it says right off the website, our water quality is up to you, meaning us, right? Well, you as residents as well. It says water, it's one of our most valuable resources. We need it to drink, cook, bathe, and survive, yet we take it for granted. Each day we dump dangerous chemicals into the ground that could potentially get into our water supply and affect our water quality. Well, how about if we're the ones that are dumping that chemical into the water? On the website it says the city has already taken steps to keep our water supply clean. The small portion of earth we can control seriously affects us, our children, our neighbors, and our city for years to come. No one expects us to change old habits overnight, but each step forward brings us closer to a solution. Looking at the information that I got from public information requests, we're purchasing 10,000 pounds of sodium fluoride a quarter. That's 850-pound bags. That means we are dumping approximately 40,000 pounds of sodium fluoride into our pristine, clean, to die for wonderful aquifer water. Let me also remind you that under the public information request that I asked for photographs. Well, I had actually asked for an empty bag of the sodium fluoride bag, one of the 800 every 3 months that we're dumping into the water. And I got a photograph, and I appreciate that very much. And on the photograph of that bag of sodium fluoride that we're dumping 2 of those a day, that's over 100 pounds, into our pristine aquifer water, it says for industrial use only. Think about that. What does that mean? What does for industrial use only mean to you? What's the definition of industrial? Is the definition of industrial okay to use for baby formula? Is that what it means? Technically, to you and me, is it okay for you and you and you, for my grandchildren, your grandchildren? Industrial use only. That's what it says on the bag. One of the reasons that concerns me so much, the relative toxicity of sodium fluoride shown to you here. In other words, when you calculate how many milligrams it takes to cause a fatality, if you look at lead and arsenic and the number of milligrams per kilograms of body weight that it takes to be fatal. Now, of course, it's different from one person to the next, but they do calculations to figure out toxicity. Well, fluoride is right in between them, and lead is here at very toxic, less toxic than fluoride, and arsenic is a little bit more than that, it's extremely toxic. But here we are at fluoride, and we're adding 100 pounds a day, 40,000 pounds a year. Please look at that. And then ask yourself, what on earth does for industrial use only mean to you? I can tell you it doesn't mean giving it to babies, to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Council, as you know, Ms. Adams is passionate about the fluoride issue, and we respect that very much. We also presented this to you through Committee of the Whole and gave you reports on both sides of the issue, which you fully understand is very controversial and very divided, and there's a lot of information on both sides. And we're not in a position to really effectively research or argue the current validity of whether fluoride is perfect for everybody who takes it versus others. And we rely on government agencies for a lot of that sort of thing. I mean, King County Health Department, the Center of Disease Control, the U.S. Health, for just a lot of things that has to do with public health. We rely on other agencies to do the research and to give us their best advice. And so while we don't dispute the fact that there could be issues surrounding fluoride, we don't have the wherewithal in which to research it, nor the time and revenues. I mean, as you know, this type of thing could be extremely time-consuming and extremely expensive. But given the fact that we're listening to testimony, one-sided testimony on a weekly basis, I feel it's kind of important that we have a little bit of balance, because we have people throughout our community that are listening to this on television. So to the degree that there's any information that could potentially be misleading to the public, or that is a strong assertion that maybe we're doing something that we shouldn't be doing, I've asked Lise Hornsby, who's Public Works Utility Systems Director, to at least be here tonight to bring us up to date on a few of those items, and to the degree that we have staff available, we'll try to do that as often as you find it necessary. So Lise, can you come up and just brief the council briefly?
Good evening, Council. I'm Lise Hornby, Utility Systems Director. Just a few items, previous questions and issues brought up to Council. There were some issues brought up regarding lower IQ brain damage, specific to the Harvard study. I wanted to address that. Basically, I reviewed that study. The study found that children in high fluoride areas had lower IQ than those in low fluoride areas. Some of the high fluoride areas, however, had over 10 milligrams per liter fluoride. Just a note that we add 0.8 milligrams per liter. The scientists themselves, the Harvard scientists, admitted that the study did not really apply to water fluoridation as we use it in the United States. And everybody is basically in agreement that fluoride levels at 10 milligrams per liter or high fluoride levels are not good. At 0.8, that optimum sweet spot is the optimum level to avoid or prevent tooth decay. Heart health and fluoride, I believe, was brought up last week. There were a few studies, one of which I was able to look at and review. The study was looking at using radioactive fluoride 18 in PET scans to detect arteriosclerosis, not heart damage from fluoridated water. So it was not the use of the study, the conclusions that were talked about last week, that was not the purpose of the study. The federal agencies that are responsible for doing research regarding heart health and fluoride still state that they have found no link between fluoridated water and heart disease or damage. That's still their findings. In terms of the request for us to test the fluoride, I believe the original request came in a couple of Mondays ago, and it's been re-requested a few times. And it was brought up because there was a disclaimer that was on the material safety data sheet, the MSDS. The city has, and every business has an MSDS sheet for every chemical, every substance that they have on site, and as do we. And that goes for fluoride and grease and solvents and everything else that we use. And on every one of those MSDS sheets, there's a disclaimer that the manufacturer does not warrant that product for any use. So if you take that product and you go out and you use it for something that was not intended, in other words, it doesn't warranty for fit, they don't warranty that you're going to have that the good things will happen. So that's the disclaimer. They're not the disclaimer does not have to do with the certificate of analysis that just happened to be included along with the MSDS sheet in the information that we provided to Ms. Adams. So it wasn't that the city was to verify the contents, the chemical composition. They were to verify that they were using the fluoride in the appropriate use, which we are. In terms of testing it, in addition, we are to, the fluoride that's used in water, the sodium fluoride, has to meet standard 60, which is regulated by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. A standard 60 is a set of standards that's created and monitored by an independent committee of health experts. In the United States, that means that even if the fluoride is not produced in the United States, about 80% of the fluoride additives are, some aren't, but that doesn't mean that it's not protected. They still have to meet standard 60, and there are on-site inspections, and there are also surprise checks, spot checks of the fluoride to confirm that it meets that standard. So there's really no reason that the city of Renton would want to go on and do further expensive tests of the fluoride. Let's see. In terms of, I really am not familiar with the kidney dialysis article, and I can check that out. A lot of Europe does not get served by fluoridated water, and there are a number of reasons for that. They are served by a lot of small water supply systems that wouldn't be, it wouldn't be easy to fluoridate all of these small systems. So Europe came up with a different way of providing fluoride. They use fluoridated salt, and some places use fluoridated milk. In addition, we talked a little bit about some testimony this evening, talked a little bit about some of the cities across the country that were either not voting to add or not at reaffirming addition. Just a few off the top of my head, and I'm sure I could find more that one kind of caught me off guard a little bit, but Phoenix recently reaffirmed continuation of fluoridation, and Portland, I think I passed on some articles from Portland, passed adding fluoridation. Overall, though, in the United States, fluoridation or adding fluoridation to water systems, the percent of population that's served by fluoridated water continues to increase. So places are reaffirming addition and voting to add it, more so than not. Those are the...
Mr. Mayor, I just might, while she's looking, just a couple other points relative to tonight. I think, as you mentioned, I think we certainly want to allow people the opportunity to speak to the council and present testimony, but there comes a point when things they say can have, in effect, almost the same impact as somebody running into a crowded theater and yelling fire. And that's when I think we have to take some action to try to clarify for the record, and that's the case. So 40,000 pounds of fluoride sounds like a lot until you dilute that into between 2 and 3 billion gallons of water. And that's about how much we pump. I think staff can confirm that. So it's not like, as a number of minerals or virtually anything you take in sufficient, intensified and concentrated quantities will do you harm. That's the reason why on there it says for industrial use only. This is not a bag that you would want somebody to take home and get a cup of, a spoon of fluoride and eat it. That concentrated amount would be damaging to you. That's why it has to be used in an appropriate way, and we do that. We have trained people who know how to do that, and our system does that. I think we have a number of, I'll just say our water supply, which is safe to drink for the majority of the population, is potable water. It is not pure water. We have to ensure safety standards that are imposed upon us by the government. We have to put different chemicals and additives into our water supply to ensure that it is safe for the majority of the population. There are members of our population who have sensitivity to some of those chemicals, some of those minerals, and some of those additives, and they do need to be careful. When that happens, they have to take action. But for the majority of the vast majority of the people here in Renton, the water is completely safe to drink with all of the things that are added into it. And finally, I just reiterate what the mayor said. Staff does not have the expertise or the capabilities. We rely on state, federal, and local agencies whose job is to protect the health of the public. The King County Department of Public Health, their job is to ensure that restaurants and any entity that supplies food or drink to the general public does that in a safe manner. They've weighed in and said fluoride is safe. The State Department of Health has the same responsibility. The Center for Disease Control at the federal level. They all have the responsibility to help us as government officials and you as policymakers ensure that we don't do anything that would be harmful to our general public. We rely on these experts, these scientists, these doctors who spend hours and hours and weeks and their careers ensuring that the things that we have to add into our water supply and that people eat within our communities are safe to do so as long as they're done in the right and appropriate way. And so staff is cognizant of that. We try to follow the guidelines and do what we're charged to do.
Thank you, Mr. Covington. And Lisa, did you have anything else to add?
Just one last thing. Renton's supply, our groundwater supply, currently provides water to probably 3/4 of the population. As we annex out and as we start using the Seattle supply, which is our next supply, we currently use it now, but as we grow, that's going to be our next supply. And we also use it for peak water now. As we use that and as we build out, ultimately, the groundwater supply will only serve around half of our population. And so we're going to be mixing that water. And so at any time, even if we don't add fluoride to the groundwater supply, we're going to have a mixture of fluoridated water in our city regardless, and no matter what we do to our own private supply. So it's still going to be fluoridated water. And as a last thing, in 2011, as you know, we lowered our concentration to our what we add fluoride to 0.8 milligrams per liter, and that was on the advice of the feds, the federal agencies that control the federal fluoride program, and that was after an extensive review of all the data up to 2011. That was, everybody says, oh, you're using old data. No, this was everything up through 2011. In June of 2011, they said, after we've reviewed everything, all the current stuff, the latest, the greatest, we still need fluoridated water, but we need to lower it because we're getting some fluoride from other places, but we still need fluoridated water. They recommended 0.7. Washington State only allows you to go to 0.8. So we went to 0.8. And that's where we are now. And that's why we went to 0.8. So they're still saying it's safe, it's effective, it's the best way to prevent, the cheapest, best way to prevent tooth decay. And there are no direct links to cancer, heart disease, brain damage. They say straight out. So that's what we're following. And that's why we're following it.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Brewer.
just a third party on the dialysis comment. My daughter was a medical service provider in dialysis, and I got to go on tours of the clinics that she worked at, and they have entire rooms that filter all of the water that's used in dialysis. So it's very carefully protected, and it's not just like straight tap water that's being used.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any items the council member would like pulled for discussion? We have 6 items for your consideration.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Person. The council concur with the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Unfinished business, Mr. Corman.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Taylor?
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Zwicker?
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Breyer?
Yes, the Finance Committee has 2 reports.
Finance Committee report, extension of limited-term GIS analyst position. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the extension of a 2-year limited-term geographic information systems analyst position by 1 year to February 28, 2014, to allow for completion of work plan items with costs to be paid from the Enterprise GIS project budget. This is signed by the 3 committee members.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
Move that council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Person. The council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Finance Committee report, conversion of business analyst position. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the conversion of 1 business system analyst position, grade A23, to a system analyst program position, grade A21, effective February 16, 2013, to provide application and programming support in addition to business process analysts. This is signed by the 3 committee members.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move that council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Person. The council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Moving on to Mr. Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person.
No unfinished business.
Okay, and Ms. Palmer.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So moving on to resolutions and ordinances, we have 1 resolution this evening.
A resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the cities of Kent, Auburn, Bellevue, Bothell, Burien, Covington, Des Moines, Federal Way, Issaquah, Kenmore, Kirkland, Mercer Island, Redmond, Sammamish, SeaTac, Shoreline, Tukwila, and Woodinville for planning, funding, and implementation of a joint human services application and funding program.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move the resolution be adopted as read.
Second?
It's been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Zwicker, that this resolution be adopted as read. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Going to new business, Mr. Corman.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Let's see. Okay, the first thing, I guess, perhaps the only thing that I need to... Oh, okay. Is to announce that there is no council meeting next week. Next Monday is a council holiday. And thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, then I would also like to announce that on February 25th, on that Monday, we will hold a committee of the whole meeting at 6:00 p.m. in the 7th floor conferencing center. One item on that agenda, and that's the annual insurance review. And then on February 28th, Thursday, from 8 to 5 p.m., we will be holding our annual council retreat at Merrill Gardens in Renton, and that's 104th Burnett Avenue South. And that retreat will continue to March 1st, 2013, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., same location. And we're still working on that agenda, but the public is welcome to attend and view that council offsite those 2 days, February 28th to March 1st. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Corman. Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Community Services Committee meeting will be canceled on February the 25th. That is all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Zwicker?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Planning and Development Committee regularly scheduled for Thursday, February 14th has been canceled. That is all.
Okay, and Ms. Breyer?
Yes, on February the 25th, the Finance Committee will meet at 5 p.m. in the council conference room. We have 4 items: vouchers, increase in number of police patrol vehicles, excuse me, the 2012 Urban Forestry Restoration Grant Project, interagency agreement, and emerging issues in revenue streams. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Prince?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The Utilities Committee will be meeting on Monday, February 25th at 4 p.m. 3 items on the agenda. We have the Solid Waste Interlocal Agreement, emergency sale of water to Coal Creek Utility District, and the smart meter installations briefing. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Person?
No new business.
Okay, and Ms. Palmer?
Yes, the Transportation Aviation Committee will meet this Thursday, February 14th, in the council conference room. And there's 2 items on the agenda. The first is the operating permit and agreement with ProFlight Aviation, Inc. for their sublease from Renton Gateway Center, LLC. And the second item is emerging issues. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Next is audience comment. Is there anybody who didn't have a chance to address the council, really, that wants to address the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Person, that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry.
We have someone who'd like to speak.
I'm Jeannie Greencrook. Oh, Mr. Mayor, council persons, nice to be here this evening. I'm Jeannie Greencrook. I'm a Renton resident, and I got this information in the mail the other day. I do a lot of homeopathic stuff because I have a problem with my thyroid, so I'm very concerned about things that affect it, and chlorine and fluoride are one of the things that do that. So anyhow, this is from Dr. Jonathan V. Wright, and it's a nutrition and healing newsletter. And he actually has a practice here in the Tahoma area. I think they're here in Renton. It's a Tahoma clinic. But anyhow, it says here, it says, research report number 5. It says toxic danger lurking in your drinking water. A little nervous here. Anyhow, it says here, these Harvard researchers identified 27 reliable research reports about fluoride and found that 26 of the 27 came to the same conclusion. Fluoride in the amounts commonly found in water supplies in these United States is significantly decreasing our children's IQ by approximately 7 points. And he made a big point to say 7 points again. He said, sorry about the bold face. I want to make sure no one misses the research findings. And it says, do you think your children drinking water that contains significant levels of IQ-destroying toxins and then using even more in their toothpaste? And then it says, and why didn't your local newspapers or radio or TV stations lead in with black headlines about these shocking findings? The word shocking is very overused, but in this case, it's literally shocking. With a little bit of research, the media could have added to those non-existent news stories that the union of approximately 15,000 scientists, engineers, and lawyers at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agencies condemned dumping toxic fluoride into anyone's drinking water way back in 1999. Yes, 15 years ago. Oh, and one more thing. You can hear it now. Whatever can we do to prevent tooth decay? If there's no fluoride in the water anymore, wait a minute, let me start over. One more thing, you can hear it now. Whatever can we do to prevent tooth decay if there's no fluoride in the water anymore? My suggestion is to tell anyone asking this question and well-documented book, to read the well-documented booklet. It's so cheap. Prevent Tooth Decay the Sweet Natural Way, with what's written by Lane Leonard, PhD, and me. It's available mostly at Tahoma Clinic dispensaries. But the research report is reviews proof that xylitol in chewing gum or toothpaste does a better job than fluoride anytime, and it tastes a lot better too. I have their link in that, and I have a paper that I'll leave with you, but he's a very reputable physician. He was an MD and has gone to all naturopathic things now, so. I just want you to know I'm adamant, because I know that cancer and all of this is out there, but it's the thyroid and those glands that make all of us, all our other parts work right. So I will be back. So have a nice evening and enjoy your next week off.
Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just to reiterate again, staff looked at that study. We went to the actual study. We didn't go to what people had written about the study, but we actually looked at the study itself. And the study itself was referring to those water systems that had high levels of fluoride, not the 0.08 milligrams per liter that we put in our water system.
No, we're not going to debate it tonight. It's a no-win situation. So, was that for the clerk?
This was for her.
Okay, that's great.
But I did call one of the King County water districts and talked to one of their managers, and he said he was trying to get it lower, or they were trying to lower it down to 0.7, but he said personally he would like to have it taken out of all of our water system. But I'm not at liberty to give his name, but I will ask him, because he manages their water system at one of the district.
And as you can see, the difficulty, we don't, and so we're not going to be able to influence what they do with theirs. Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much. It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Person, that we adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.
Security.
No check, go direct.
That's right, Patty. A few weeks ago, I went online to godirect.org to sign up for direct deposit. It's easy to do, and I got my cash at warp speed.
Wow, it's fast and easy. I'll sign up right now to make sure I'm prepared for our next mission.
Any given day in Renton, we have over 40 firefighters and police officers who service a population of over 80,000. Now this works well on a day-to-day basis, but when a disaster strikes, we will not be able to serve you or respond